As Jesus and his disciples approached Jerusalem and came to the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, "Go to Bethphage ahead of you, and at once you will find a donkey tied there with her colt. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, tell them that the Lord needs them." The disciples went and did as Jesus had instructed them. They brought the donkey and the colt, placed their cloaks upon them, and sat on them. A very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, while others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. The crowd yelled, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord!" A mixture of people stood in the crowd that day, some believing, some scoffing. What did the people think as they saw Jesus pass by?
Bethphage has always been known for selling donkeys, and my family takes pride that we've been selling donkeys for generations. But when these 2 young gentlemen, came and approached me to borrow a donkey and a colt, I couldn't understand that. But there was something commanding about their appearance, something that wanted me to believe them. So even though I didn't know who the Lord was that wanted these donkeys, I felt I could believe him. But now, I don't know. My wife says I'm crazy. She thinks we'll never see those donkeys again.
I've been following Jesus for 3 years and know of the many wonderful miracles he has done. So why wouldn't he let him treat him like the king that we know he is? Why wouldn't he let him get a horse or even a camel for him to ride on? Why would he even want a donkey? Kings don't act that way.
We were on our way home from temple school, and we didn't really know what was going on, except everyone was excited and yelling, "The king is coming!" People started to rip branches off trees and lay them on the road for the donkey to walk on. Some even took off their robes and laid them on the ground. It was exciting.
My palace is astir due to some parade that is taking place on the outskirts of the city. As if I, Pontius Pilate, care about another festival or occasion that these Judeans celebrate. Well, what I do care about is their sacrifices and the stench from the smoke that makes its way into my palace. It has ruined many of my garden party. And then I have to listen to this incessant prattle from this old goat about his religion and one true God. Well, these Jews better understand whose philosophy matters. It's mine. Live and let live. And the sooner they get on board, the less of them will die. That will die.
We owe Jesus our daughter's life. She died suddenly. One of those swift summer fevers coming from the swamp of Capernaum. Within hours, she was gone. We have heard Jesus preach and ever seen him healing people. So we sent word to him and told him that our daughter was sick, hoping and praying that he could do something. Before Jesus could come, a servant came and told us that she had died. We gave into despair. And Jesus followed us to our house, telling that she was only sleeping. So he took her by the hand and helped her stand up. She was alive again. I don't know if Jesus is everything he claims to be, but he had compassion on our family, and we love him.
Do you believe the gall of that man claiming to be a king? He's organizing a parade, deceiving the people into believing he's some sort of big deliverer. Well, we of the Sanhedrin, we're not going to take this anymore. The Passover is coming, so people are gathering to Jerusalem. And that will be the perfect time for us to take care of this troublemaker.
I've been stationed here a little more than a year. All I want to do is go home to Rome. I had enough with all the trouble, the zealots, the rebel-rousers, the crucifixions. It's enough to turn your stomach. Just today, another guy was proclaiming to be a king. All the people were shouting. They're throwing their coats in the road. I don't see a good end to this. The Romans don't appreciate anybody trying to overthrow their government.
Finally, this Jesus has been teaching and preaching for 3 years. Now it's time to make our move. Now that he's made a public confession that he's a king, a declaration, finally we may see some action. It's time to get rid of this oppressive Roman government while the taxes alone are enough to cripple us. If he wants to set up some form of kingdom that talks about another world or heaven, that's fine with me. I'm interested in establishing a king that's going to take over here and now.
A mixture of people stood in the crowd that day. A donkey seller, a disciple, a child, Pontius Pilate, a parent, a Pharisee, a Roman soldier, a zealot. Some believed, some scoffed, and some questioned. What did the other people think as they saw Jesus ride by? Who do you see as Jesus passes by?